Well, good morning and welcome, my friends. Yes, early edition of Flipside coming your way this Tuesday, March the 18th, a little after 6:35 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And once again, I'm testing the bounds of technology, as this particular podcast is done on my recently purchased Air. Because of the construction of the MacBook Air, it doesn't allow me to plug in a headset. So this broadcast is done solely by the internal microphone that is supplied with the MacBook Air. So my apologies for the quality, if you will. Needless to say, because Putin's speech is seen more as a step back from Armageddon, the so-called risk trade is off, which means gold is lower by some $20. Both Dow and the NASDAQ are pointing to a positive open. Now that the tensions have been somewhat relieved in Ukraine. But does this mean our goals are over? Not by a long shot, I might add. As John Embry said a few days ago, we are dealing with a flock of black swans circling ahead. Any one of which could hit us at any point. First time in the big chair. Nobody really expects the Fed to deviate from its current course. but that doesn't stop people speculating as to what or what not the Fed is about to do. We have numerous crises popping up all over the plate. I think and there is definitely a bias on my side, but once again, I find that the bombshell from yesterday that UBS is being investigated for gold manipulation received little, if any, coverage whatsoever. This is not dissimilar to a few weeks ago when the Financial Times of London, for the first time in anyone's memory, actually printed a story based on a analysis an independent analyst firm did on the London AM and PM fix, and came to the obvious conclusion that because of the way the AM and PM fix is set up, it is open to collusion and manipulation. The collective gold community was shocked at this revelation. This is something that the folks of GATA have been preaching for decades. But now we have a situation where UBS has been singled out by the FDIC. As you know, we often quote from that old curmudgeon, Art Cashin, who is the floor operator for UBS, and also is a prolific writer who shares many of his thoughts and opinions over with the folks at King World News. So it's going to be interesting to see what Art Cashin has to say about this latest investigation. According to the folks over at Zero Hedge, the last time the Financial Times penned an article on the topic of gold manipulation titled "Gold Price Rigging Fears Put Investors on Alert," it was promptly taken down without much and any explanation. We recorded the article for posterity Earlier today, another article on the topic appears to have slipped through the cracks of the distinguished editors of the financial journals. When this headline appeared, gold pricing scrutiny widens. This also appeared in the Financial Times, where at least I remind you that for years, gold bugs claiming gold manipulation have been ridiculed. It's finally starting to make the headlines where for decades it was relegated to the dustbin of history. This new article by the Financial Times looks at one of the most habitual manipulators of practically every asset class that the market has ever known, and that's Swiss bank UBS, better known as the rat that is allegedly perfectly happy to expose all other manipulators in exchange for immunity, and focus on the Friday admission by UBS in its 2013 annual report that a review of its foreign exchange operations has been widened to include its precious metals business. In the report, the Swiss bank says, following an initial media report in June of 2013 of widespread irregularities in the foreign exchange markets, UBS immediately commenced an internal review of its foreign exchange business, which includes our precious metals business. But before anyone gets too excited, let's remember that the last time the CFTC did an in-depth investigation of manipulation in precious metals, it found nothing. However, according to Bart Chilton, that was only due to the zero or negative budget allotted to the important regulator until recently headed by Gold Mantel. Perhaps this time will be different. Suddenly it may be in someone's interest to finally see gold trade up to its fair value, whatever that may be. Although certainly higher than the current prevailing prices, which has seen China buy up unprecedented amounts of physical courtesy of the manipulated paper supply and demand. So, my friends, this is the Tuesday morning edition of the Flipside. I'll be back later this afternoon, 4 p.m. Pacific time, over at the Micro Effect. And I hope you found the tidbits of information I gave this morning of interest. And we will do it again soon. Till then, see you, bye.